Goldylocks Productions broadcasts universal cosmic frequencies that unlock, awaken, and expand the consciousness of our worldwide viewers and listeners. Goldylocks Productions presents Enlightening Conversations with Pam Silver Eagle.
Hi, welcome to the Perch, and thank you for soaring in here and joining me in this new space. Just filled with joy to be on the banks of Lake Erie, and I'm going to just move aside for a moment. Look how awesome is that? Woo! So for those of you who may be just joining me for the first time, I am Pam Silver Eagle. And for those of you who have come back to join me again, thank you. It's good to have you back. I took last week off as was in the midst of some really, really good stuff and expansion in my own personal soul journey, as well as some ceremony to help with Earth Mother and all of humanity, and bringing in these new earth energies with some sacred sisters of mine. And I look forward to talking more about that a little bit later. So if you have not been on the Perch with me in the past, maybe a little bit different flavor than some of the other hosts on Goldylocks Productions. So I do not do any live readings during my streaming. However, I really encourage anyone who feels called to connect with me through my Facebook Messenger and take a look at my Facebook page, see what services I offer, and for they are growing and it is vast. So I've got lots to share, and you can schedule a personal session with me right there on my Pam Silver Eagle Facebook page, and look forward to connecting with more and more of you as we are grateful for social media when we use it in a conscious way, especially at this time, these last however many months it's been. We've been moving through this large global spiritual retreat and finding new ways to be creative, to connect and to share, to heal and to transform and co-create. So thankful to Tiffany and the gang at Goldylocks Productions for the platform and the invite to land here. So thank you. I know that every week when I get on the Perch here, we talk about the energies, and it just keeps seeming to be amping up. And we've just come off of a full moon weekend and eclipse, and this amazing harmonic convergence that we're all moving through. This is epic time. There has never been another time like we are living in and having our being in. And so I want to talk today a little bit more about, here we are, this space right here, right now. And although we know there is no such thing as time or space, it is so important to be mindful of what we are painting on our blank canvas, because we are powerful, powerful co-creators. We are powerful manifestors, and it's really important to watch the monkey mind and focus, envision, stay in a sacred way of prayer and consciously creating, co-creating, coming together. Speaking of convergence, certainly with all people, all brothers, all sisters around Earth Mother, around the beautiful home that we've been gifted. So many of us have come back time and time and time again, and to remember who we are and why we've come at this point. So some of you that are watching with me now also are very clear what your soul missions are. Some of you perhaps are just remembering now And, some of you may have found this live stream today or whenever it is, it comes your way, and it will open up some new thought, perhaps provide some healing from some blockages, old wounds, help move past old patterns that are no longer serving you, no longer serving us. And so we'll just see. I was in sacred space as I was waiting for all of you to join me. And I was just being guided to go with the flow. And towards the end, perhaps a little bit of a sacred teaching. And we'll see if that comes through towards the end. So as I'm positioned, my back is to the north, as I've called in the sacred directions and the ancestors. And so for those of you who are not familiar with me and my walk, I am a pure channel. I am here to evolve as souls in their eternal journey. I'm also here to teach the truth teachings to help us all remember our great connectedness in this great web of life and how we can be in that way, peace and harmony, as we co-create this new golden age of enlightenment, the new earth. And Earth Mother is so lovingly supporting us and going through her own shifts. I also provide amazing activations. If you're not familiar, when I say what activations are, the frequency upgrades, it's all about the vibration. And as we are all evolving different dimensions, we're going higher and higher as far as our vibrations, our frequencies. There's a lot of things that we are responsible to do in order to reach those frequencies and maintain. I'm feeling guided to speak with everyone today about that, to share. There's so many different tools and practices. There's, as I always teach, there's no right or wrong. There are, as you are exposed to more wayshowers and practices, you feel into what feels right for you and put those in practice. And really, in a way, more than ever, we must be dedicated to our practice in our daily lives. As we know, there's a lot of energies here on the earth plane that are really wonky, and there's these lower vibrational energies. Those of us who are really aware that we are now, moving across the dimensions, how do we do that? How do we become the watcher, the masters of our own ascension process? How do we navigate through these energies when we are in a society where we have humanity at so many different levels of consciousness, awareness? How do we do that peacefully, without judging, and navigate our way together? If you funnel it down to our closer relationships, family members, partners, communities, social groups, same thing. Our neighborhoods, workplaces, we've got a mishmash of consciousness within our brothers and sisters, within all of us. So how do we become more and more responsible for our own soul's evolution? That's where we have to start within first. And then it's an inside job, right? We have to do that. And that's part of the wellness that I teach. As for those of you who may be new, I was in the public education industry for about 30 years. I was a physical education teacher and an athletic coach. And I am well versed in how do we take care of our physical body. We also have to consider the mental, the emotional, spiritual, all of that together now, this wholeness, this oneness. So sometimes we see people practicing spiritual practices, and they're really dedicated to that, but they're not taking care of their body temples. This is what we're moving around in here on the earth plane. So we have to take care of it, and it's shifting too. We'll touch on that a little bit today as I speak. When I teach, it is through my own experiences, my own journey of becoming a master of my soul evolution, my ascension process, that I lead and guide others. And I know, as most of you have experienced, that there are many people we'll come across in our lives, starting from when we were young, wee ones, short-legged ones. And we learn, we watch, we observe. And for a while, some teachings, people may resonate. We use those practices, and then you may evolve past, beyond those experiences, those people, those places, and you'll find some practices that you maintain. It's like I'm smiling in my heart, because when people, as a coach and teacher, and even on a personal level, people will have often asked me, and of course it was my assignment to teach people how to be well, and yet there's a lot of resistance. People, it comes down to the self-love, and we go through phases where we may not feel like going out and exercising, whatever that means to you. We are so blessed now. There are so many wonderful workout facilities, gymnasiums, etc. Some are perhaps closed in the area that you may be living in due to. There's a lot of places that have reopened, yoga places, Tai Chi, Qigong, rock climbing. There's so many fun ways to move the body and strengthen the body. Keep the chakras clear. So keep those chakras, the energy spinning. That's vital. So how do we stay motivated? Well, it is best to stick with those things that you enjoy and explore new things, new places, new ways of being. This is the change we are all in. Again, there's such a thing as a habit or habits, but there's also those things, practices that we are true to. For me, I've enjoyed working out in gyms since I was a collegiate athlete. I was a volleyball player at Edinburgh University. And that was when I first started working out in the gyms. And my workout has changed, and yet I stay dedicated to that, because for me, I know the benefits. I appreciate the benefits, and so I stick with that. I love riding bike. This is my modern day horse that I pedal, and so I burn more calories, and my physical body gets stronger. Again, there's endless ways, and sometimes it's good to have partners to work out with. If you're feeling like you're lacking a little bit in some motivation, grab some friends, your partner, family members, meet some new people, maybe neighbors. Once you get out into the park areas, like this place I'm in right now, it's just beautiful. It's a public park, and as I said, it's pretty quiet right now. It's try new things. So wellness, what are we putting in our body temples? What are we eating? And looking at the foods that are going to help us maintain these high vibrations, or to gain and retain the high vibration. Cultivating the life force is so very helpful. And I found Qigong years ago. It is one of my daily practices to keep my vibration high. If you have not checked out my Facebook photos, I would encourage you, I invite you to do so. It brings me great joy to share those vibrations, and through those photos, you will receive transmission through many of the photos at the level of frequency that I'm I'm now at it as my body temple and my light body, everything is shifting, shifting, shifting. Is so too for so many of you, I know. So the daily practices, what we're putting in our body, you know, and everyone's different. And again, this is where we have to, everyone's body type is different. Everyone runs a little bit differently. I know a lot of people are vegan. Uh, I'm gluten-free. I seemingly had to do that years ago, and seems super sensitive, really super, super sensitive to the gluten. And all we've done, I suppose, in manufacturing the messing, getting into the mix of changing our food sources, right, with and all the pesticides and the way we produce foods in an unhealthy way. And we're moving out of that now. So many folks are growing their own foods, sustainability, and honoring Earth Mother and giving gratitude. And these are the ways we were taught. These are the ways the ancestors taught us to live in harmony with Earth Mother. She provides us with our nutrients and the medicine, much of the medicine that we need. And you know, the fresh water, this great lake behind me, the ancestors. And I, when I come to these places, and this is my birthplace, I was born and raised here in this area, I can feel the many other lifetimes I lived here and the ancestors who walk with me now. You know, the histories, the human history, but, you know, also the way Earth Mother has shifted. This area was all formed back in the glaciers. And back in the days of history is so long ago. When I walk, especially down in the streams or the creek beds, I just get filled with Earth Mother love, Earth Mother's love and restoration, nourishment. So the water is so sacred that you know, it's so important as I speak often to bless our water as we're taking it into our bodies and giving gratitude. Right? The heart-centered gratitude way of life is the way we are meant to be living. And when we live in that way, we are blessed beyond what we can imagine. And yet we send up our prayers and envision, because again, what I spoke earlier was that you know, we have to watch our thoughts because we are manifesting like that. So keep an eye on, monitor the thoughts, and two, send up the prayers, send up your wishes, your highest wishes from your heart space, your dreams, wishes. And we have so much assistance in bringing that in. Back to the sacred water, I want to speak that for those of you who've been following our brothers and sisters of the Sioux Nation out in the Dakotas, we are moving towards true justice with the pipeline. There's been a judge who is obviously heart-centered and conscious, who has ordered the company from the pipeline to stop. And there will be much investigation, you know, into what's next. But it was quite a victory, and so I celebrate that. I've, like many, many, many of you, have been putting up prayers for a number of years and holding sacred space, sending lots of love to Earth Mother. And we know the ancestors of all these spaces that have been, you know, destroyed and tapped into and tapped out all of Earth Mother's natural resources, and the disrespect for the ancient ones, the burial grounds, as well as our brothers and sisters' land that they hold so sacred and are guardians of all around Turtle Island, all around Earth Mother, and our Aboriginal brothers and sisters and the rainforest, and all of those sacred earth keepers who have, you know, many have lost their lives for this soul mission, their cause to be the earth keepers, the earth guardians. And you know, again, this is one of the things as we continue to awaken and we remember this oneness, true oneness with all living beings, then we change the way we are being. This is where we are in co-creating the new earth. So the sacred water, drink of it often, bless your water, give thanks, and infuse it with higher vibrational energies such as love, wholeness. Speak those words, those energies in, and just hold your hand. Where are we at here? Woo! Hold your hand over the water container. Yes, it's a plastic container, and I reuse it, reuse it, reuse it, reuse it. I dashed into a store one day when I was after working out, grabbed it. So I tried to use as very little plastics as possible. So this is one of the things that we're realizing. Boy, did we as a humanity make a big mistake in producing so much plastic, and we are shifting that too. Yes. So again, just to bless your water and speak those high vibrations into it. And we know that the water is life. Water is sacred. Water is life. So taking care of the body temple in this shifting time, and how do we get to these high vibrations and maintain these vibrations? Again, what are we eating? I've started to speak about the food sources, and I am not vegetarian. I am not vegan. I tend to eat pretty clear, pretty clean, green. Lots of fruits, lots of vegetables is my base. But I've discovered a good time ago that my body requires some protein of meat, and I honor that. And I know that my indigenous soul remembers that when we used to hunt, we would call in the animals in a sacred way. It would be through the dance and the prayers, and we would send up and give gratitude as we call the animals in for the hunt. So I hold on, I maintain that sacred way. When I have something to eat that is a meat source, I bless it, I give gratitude, and I try to hold it in that sacred way. And I would suggest that if you are someone who still consumes any sort of meat product, then if you haven't been doing holding it in a sacred way and giving gratitude, then that would be something you may want to try. And for those of you who totally do not consume meat, again, the beauty is that is your free will, that is your choice. And I honor and respect your choices, as I ask you to honor and respect mine and all those who may eat differently. As our bodies, as we're shifting and holding these higher vibrations, another way we must nurture ourselves is to rest. This extreme, extreme, extreme amount of energy coming in, love and all these higher vibrational energies, these new earth energies, the rainbow frequencies. And again, if you're someone who's taken a look at my photos or taps in often, thank you. And it is my joy and my honor to share these frequencies. And it's really important to rest. So many of us, even the light workers, the healers, probably I should say even especially, we are warriors, and we know we have a big task at hand, but we must take care of ourselves, and rest is certainly part of that. It is a time to integrate these energies coming in, just rest. And most of us have grown up in cultures and society that has taught us otherwise. It's, to work hard. I come from a lineage of hard workers, both sides of my family. And that's how I grew up. And I am sure that it is that drive that helped me to become so successful as an athlete and as a coach and all the kids I've taught. But now I've balanced. Speaking of the balance of the divine masculine and feminine, right? I've learned to balance and listen to my body. And when I need rest, I rest more. Sometimes I took a nap the other day. What was it? After the was going on, and I haven't taken a nap in a long, long time. And I lay down and I slept for Oh, I know. It was after I was up doing ceremony with my friend Lee, Reverend Lee Chapin. For those of you that tune into the Goldylocks Productions, she is host on Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern. And my friend Joanne, and we did ceremony up in New York State, up in the here, still the same, the land of the Iroquois. And again, I'll be talking more about that, but there's so much energy running through me last weekend. And as well for my personal ceremony I experienced and held. I guess it was maybe Monday, I napped and for 2 hours. So when was the last time you took a nap? And if you do that daily as part of your regiment, your routine, right on. And those of you that are working and perhaps jobs or job spaces where you can't easily do that, then just remember to honor and listen to your body. When you feel tired, don't stay up so late, get to bed. When you can rest a little bit longer in the morning. I did that this morning. I've been waking up early, like 5:30 a.m. local time. And my bedroom window faces the east. So when the beautiful sun rises and it's cool enough here in the evenings that I leave my window open a little bit and the birds start ushering the day in for me, saying hello and all the magical ways that they do, I get up and ready to go. But today I knew this week, it feels like all week, my personal guidance is rest. We have all just moved through, like I said, a powerful, powerful weekend. And, those of you who are of service as light workers and healers, as myself, and I think sometimes we really comprehend we have so much. There's so much to be done. People to help heal, people to teach, frequencies to be brought in, crystals to be laid down, stones to be placed, live streams to do, conferences to host, and workshops. But how do we do that if we don't nurture ourselves? So today my teaching is to remember to take care of self in even greater ways than we ever have before. And because it is a great time of change, I invite you to look at new ways of relaxing, to de-stress. We know all the tools of clearing the energies, and smudging, or purify, in beautiful waters. Back in one of my other home areas is the St. Petersburg, Florida area, with beautiful natural salt water to go cleanse in and be restored in. Walking out in the woods, being in nature, just sitting even. It's good to move about. One of my services that I provide is creating nature journeys for people. So if you are in the Erie, Pennsylvania area, the thunder gods are talking. If you are in the Erie area and would like to schedule a nature journey with me, please send me a message or just tap on my button to schedule a session. It is a delight, and every single time I do one of those for people, they're different, they're customized. And so if you want to contact me through Facebook Messenger and let me know you'd like to sign up for a retreat, I would be honored and filled with joy to bring you out and about on these lands that I've spent the last 6 months on rediscovering, very magical, magical spaces. Now, you can also request a energy session, a medicine session, vibrational frequency upgrade during that journey for, a little extra, we can add that in. So again, I encourage you to take a look at my services. And if you're somewhere distant, then this is, right here. Transmission, everyone's receiving through this space. Let me see, where's my camera? Here we go. Of the beauty. You all can't see this side of my lens, but I am enfolded here. We are enfolded in beautiful sacred trees, and some of them large tulip trees that are native to this area, some maples, beautiful trees holding space for us here. So taking time to just be, this is one of the new ways that if we nurture ourselves and taking the time to live in the now moment, that is where we receive the blessings, the insight, the inspiration, the healing. So let's just take a moment now together. Take a nice, gentle breath and release. So good. It's the best medicine ever because it's all of love. Love from the trees and Earth Mother. I can feel it coming up from the soles of my feet below me. And then the beautiful purifying waters. We can just release, send the prayers, our request of what we're releasing, letting go of. Isn't it awesome? So we're speaking of wellness and ways we can nurture ourselves. And again, first you have to recognize, and then it's the doing of maybe doing nothing. Take time. Socializing piece is fascinating, isn't it, these days? Again, some areas are still on stay-at-home order. Some areas have said, hey, go out and frolic about. And some areas say, well, go on out there, and we're going to monitor a lot of what you do. And I don't really want to get into the whole conversation because that's, I think, something we're all still pondering as to how much control and manipulation we have been under. And it certainly is intentional by those who have created it. And yet, when I speak of respect, we have to recognize that not everyone is as comfortable. Some people are still very much in the 3D fear-based, watching the social media, watching the numbers that are coming across the screen and listening to all that's being circulated out there. And so when I'm out in public, I am still wearing a mask when I go into places where there are people in a close proximity. So stores, and I don't go into the stores too much till we need groceries. But, again, we have to respect one another's comfort zone, comfort level. And truly, there are folks that, perhaps their immune systems are not so strong. Some of the elderly, some of the young ones. And I've spent, for those of you who haven't been watching my offerings the last few weeks, I've spent about the last 7 weeks taking care of my mom and my dad. My mom has been on the healing journey from a real serious fall. And so I've spent a good time in the local hospital. And I've spent time in and out of doctor's offices, taking her to appointments, and my dad. So yes, of course, you wear a mask when you're in those spaces. But, we have to discern. And again, it's kind of like what we eat, right? It's different for everybody and what feels right. But we should do it from a heart space center and from a higher consciousness, to not let others manipulate and control us, and to know that when we're outside, especially when there's hardly anybody else around, or certainly at a great distance, why on earth would I wear a mask? Earth Mother says, well, why would you do that? And the breeze comes through now. Statistics out about why masks are so unhealthy. And again, I think, a lot of common sense. If you're in a space where a mask needs to be worn, and certainly all of our medical brothers and sisters who are working in the medical field, in hospitals and medical facilities, we understand, the importance of it. But again, if you're out and about and there's no one, especially outside, take off the mask and breathe. Free yourself. Free yourself. Free yourself. All right. So socially, we're starting to gather in through discernment in practical ways and in ways of, using good judgment. So pick and choose where you're going to spend your time, and also who is it that you're spending time with. So important to be in the midst of those who we feel safe, supported, loved, reciprocal relationships. Anything that brings up fear or anger, control, anything less than love, we don't do well in those spaces. As we raise our vibration, it just brings us down. So we have to learn how to recenter ourselves and become masters of where are we choosing to be, what reality are we choosing for ourselves. But again, when we're out socially, the physical space is important, and when we can choose to take ourselves out of those environments, then it's important. And those of you that are working in workspaces, and maybe where there are people who are less conscious, and there's a lot of anger and fear and greed and all those things that still present, then this is part of the big change. Perhaps it's time to change career, time to move, relocate your nest, your sanctuary. These are the epic changes we're all moving through. Again, the law of attraction, in your beingness. What are you bringing? Who are you bringing into your life? That is so important. And again, we can honor and give gratitude and send blessings to those who've come in and out of our lives. Be open to the new. Welcome back. Those maybe who we haven't seen in a while with this stay-at-home order and beyond, and the healing that's taking place for all of us. Use discernment from here. Is this of my highest good? And that is the way we step into our power and create our healthy boundaries, to create our reality, to create our world, our beingness. So important to realize that, our actions and the way we are, our thoughts are, because we are all one, affect all of humanity. And that's a big statement, a big truth. Simple habits. Are we recycling in the home? Are we speaking truth? Are we being in our integrity? Are we speaking one thing but doing another? Are we gossiping? So these things that we lower vibrational actions of unconsciousness are what we are moving away from and releasing. And as each of us is responsible for our own work, then we have these beautiful inspirations for others. And modeling is so important. I have modeled my whole life as a teacher, as a leader of many, many different groups, communities, all the way back to when I was a child. And I didn't realize it when I was a child, but I was. I came in that way as a soul because I've been a leader many, many lifetimes, sacred leader, and through the field of athletics, and then through my profession. And when you are leading the way, many times there will be those who resist. Many times there will be those who want to judge. There will be those who are intimidated, and those who will try to stop you from being in your truth. So this is a time we take back our power. And again, when I say power, that means from the heart center, our godness, our goddessness, that sacred divine union within self, and that pureness of being in our integrity. That's how I invite everyone to really get clear. And it's a good, hey, we are finding things are coming up and we're releasing. and to be healed, and opportunities for us to shift. We have all hurt others, and we have all been hurt by others many, many, many lifetimes. It is a time of forgiveness. It is a time to give thanks for the lessons learned and to move onward into the new, the better, the love, the unity, consciousness. So this is where we are in this day. I want to share, I was guided, this sacred teaching. It's just feeling to share. So I have this book, it's called The Symbols, The Universal Symbols and Laws of Creation, a divine plan by which one can live. And it is exactly that, a book of lots of symbols. And my screen has frozen, but my experience in the past is when my screen does this, you're all still seeing me. So I'm going to hold this up. Hope you can see it. This book came to me about, well, I can tell you how long ago. Back in November 2015. And I have been leafing through it and being called to it. I'm going to just see if I can get me off of frozen because it's more comfortable for me. All right, we're going to leave it right there. So this book came to me, of course, when I was ready for it. And yet I've just, been called to it from time to time. And now I'm really recognizing it's gone many places with me. My 5-week, 5,000-mile soul journey to the Southwest last year of Arizona, the White Apache Mountains of Arizona, and Sedona, New Mexico, to remember who I've been in those lifetimes. And then it's, obviously it's with me on this trip. Take it many times out into the woods as I'm guided. So as I am converging some of these teachings that those of you who don't know, teach the teachings of the Ascended Masters, the 7 Sacred Flames, those teachings that came to me after I was initiated, had a huge activation in Mount Shasta. So I've been teaching those mastery teachings. And, I work with the angels, the archangels, ancient earth guardians and ancestors, the kingdoms, many of the Native American medicine women, medicine men, as I have been so in my past and currently, and leaders. And so for my path, I was meant to take a look at all these different teachings and how do they really come together as one, and they do. So this for me and for as a teacher to be able to teach and give, because why? There are many different teachings that will resonate in different ways with different people, and we can choose our path, and yet the path all takes us all to the same place, our paths. Whatever we study, if it's of love and it's of light, it's going to bring us back to the heart center of all of us, which we are, which we've come. And we've got so many helpers and our celestial brothers and sisters that all cheering us on, us and assisting us. So this morning, right before I came on the live stream, I was standing and praying, and I called in the sacred directions, and I called in the sacred elements, called upon the ancestors and the ascended masters, and I was guided to this teaching of the ceremony of the stars. I'm going to read to you what I'm guided to share. And so I want to just recognize that this is sacred space now, as these are sacred teachings. And if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes and just kind of breathe in to your heart space and feel my words, these teachings, these sacred teachings, ancient teachings. Just hold it in that sacred way. It's perfect space, and I can You see why I was guided to this teaching for now. The ceremony of the stars. The sacred folk upon the land are those star folk who receive their energies from their stellar homes through ceremony with the stars. And this page I came to, I'm going to show this page, beautiful page here. I hope you can see it. I'm just going to do like this because my screen is still frozen. These are the 4 doors of Metatron. And the universal laws. The universal law of innocence, truth, and family. The universal law of change. The universal law of symmetry. So this is the first door of Metatron that I'm going to share, that I'm guided to share with you. The door of the heart, the gate of purification, healing, renewal. And how perfect, because this is, especially as we've moved through these past couple weeks and where we're at today, obviously perfect. The first door of Metatron is the door of the north. This is the energy of the stellar nations, the cosmic ocean. Cosmic ocean. The first door is the sacred waters, the healing waters of life, which are the energies from the great central sun through the many star nations. The sacred folk upon the land are those star folk who receive their energies from their stellar homes through the ceremony of the stars. The first door is the door of the heart. Thus, the first ceremony of the stars is the doorway of the heart. The north behind me, brings the healing energies of Mother Earth's sacred ones, the grandfathers and the grandmothers, the healing powers of the water, prayers of buffalo, strong red-robed nations walking for the people, and the Sundance tree. This is the door, the first door of Metatron, the door of the heart. Now in this door, we will deal with ceremony with these star symbols, as we will in each of the doors. Again, if this calls to you, I highly would recommend checking out this book. I'll give you a little more information at the end where you can tap into it, publishing. So in this, dealing with this particular door, north door, heal the heart. To heal the heart of those present and to heal the heart of Mother Earth. Healing the heart of Mother Earth is connecting with her love. Thus, through the sacred language of the star symbols, we may speak to Mother Earth and heal her heart. Heal our connection to the heart of love as our mother. And many of us have moving through a lot of healing work on that mother essence. Yes, our human mothers, perhaps mothers from other lifetimes, the divine feminine, the ascended divine feminine, ascended masters are so supporting all of us in this process. And certainly Earth Mother. So we say, standing elk, choose a symbol that is for the healing of the heart. Standing elk responds, Oiste, Oioste, that love. Then, law of love shall be the first symbol to be called in. Yet among the 12 doors, the law of love is of the yet to come. So we must choose from among these 12 which Spirit has given us this far. The doors of many faces have to do with these first 12 symbols. These symbols represent the wheel of humanity. In each direction of the wheel of humanity, there are 3 spirit helpers, known as these symbols. The truth is that all 12 symbols are perfectly interchangeable. This is why the 144, 144 is true. This is the 13th walk that is embodied in the symbol yet to come, the spirit symbols. So standing elk, choose for the healing of the heart, one of these 6 universal laws or 6 spiritual laws that have been given to us. Standing elk selects the universal law of innocence, truth, and family. This particular star symbol is a healing symbol as well. It heals the heart, it heals the spirit, and heals the family. So for application, we would suggest that this symbol be placed on the back of an entrance door to a dwelling place. All entrance doorways on the inside of the dwelling on the door have this symbol. This will set the law of innocence, truth, and family as the law of the lodge, of your home, of your sacred space, your nest, your sanctuary. This is also the medicine of the north doorway. It is also suggested that a crystal altar be made with this symbol, which calls forth the universal law of innocence, truth, and family. This would be an altar for the inner home or the sanctum. We also see that a great stone circle with the symbol within the circle out in nature, in the woods, to bless an area. So you can create these symbols again in many places, and we're guided with each ceremony. These are 3 powerful ways to heal the heart through the use of this symbol. So too, of course, as I spoke earlier, the heart of Earth Mother. The first way heals the heart of the family by setting the law at the door. You see them every time you go out, and you remember them when you come in. The second way, the crystal altar, in the inner holy reaches of the home where your altars and ceremonies reside. A crystal altar in the shape of this symbol, which I will show you, with a crystal circle around it as well if you wish. This is a way to bless the innocence within the home. Circle of stones creating an altar for the animal, tree, stone kin, a natural altar out amongst them. So out in the woods, or out in the field, beautiful space near your location or while you are traveling about. This will allow the universal law of innocence, truth, and family to heal the heart of the land through the energy of divine truth. Each door shall have a trinity of symbols, a trinity of sacred laws, and each law a trinity of applications. It creates a calendar, a sacred walk with the star symbols. It is an inner path star. It is an inner star path. Many people have difficulties with values and understanding what values are. The universal laws teach the foundation of values, and then the people's free will and desire grows. These 12 symbols work. This is a blessing which this language and this sacred walk, this ceremony of the 4 doors brings. So I'm going to show you, because I know we're getting close to the end of our sacred space here on the perch today. I'm going to show you these symbols. So the cube of Metatron, the star of Metatron, this is the healing. I hope you can see it. This is the one I was just reading of, the sacred ceremony and the symbol. It is purple, amethyst color, a star with a circle inside, and then it would be a symbol that looks like an eye with a line through the middle, a capital I with a line through the middle. Again, I'll hold it up here. Hopefully you can see it. My screen still frozen in time. So the other symbols that I mentioned, the purification and renewal, that's the other ones you see here on top. And so I invite you to create this symbol of healing, is what we're focused on. And many times when I am out doing my work in nature, you can too, just write the symbols on the ground or even in the air in a sacred way with your finger, or on a tree, or in a space if you've been where there's been a lot of damage to the land. I've gone through some areas where the lumber industry up here has really depleted these woodlands through the years, and without the restoration process intact. And so many times I'll use these different symbols as I'm guided to help heal the land, and perhaps wars that have taken place in these historic areas where we've had so much war, so much battle, so much death. So again, in case you're interested, this book is called the symbols, the universal symbols, laws of creation. I'm going to show you here. Let me show you. Let me tell you. It's a copyright 1996. This first copyright by Standing Elk. Universal and Spiritual Laws of Creators, Star Law Manual of the Galactic Federation was the former title of this book, for those of you who've been around and studying and practicing with these symbols for some time. Let's see what else I can give you here. There's a note that's of importance I want to share at the bottom of this page. On January 21st, 2013, in conjunction with the inaugural ceremonies of President Barack Obama and the Universal and Spiritual Laws of Creators, Star Law Manual of Galactic Federation, with its companion Sacred Calendar, was again inducted into the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History, American Indian History. So this is a fabulous book. If it calls out to you, I highly recommend it. And, you know, again, we are the ones who are bringing the healing. We are the ones that are bringing the love. And there are great tools like this that helps us to remember what our soul already knows. Perhaps was gained so many times if we surf into our Akashic records. And these are wonderful tools that we have in modern day to help bring this knowledge in so many different ways. And so the gift of print. Standing Elk One Eye Productions. Anyways. All right. I'm looking at the clock countdown and I'm still frozen. It's a really cool picture though. Got the beautiful water behind me and the trees. So that's a good moment to hold on to. So again, I welcome you to, and I invite you to join me at Pam Silver Eagle Facebook page. Go to my LLC page if you haven't already, please, and click like and tap in there. That's where I offer my services, easy to schedule with me. And I look forward to meeting more and more of you as we come out of our sacred ceremony or a sacred global retreat, as I start traveling about with my teachings and ceremonies that I'll be offering, workshops, healing opportunities, activations, upgrades. And for the meantime, if you're not in the local space where I am, I may be coming closer to where you are soon. In the meantime, we are connected here in the heart space, and here, Goldylocks Productions. Every Tuesday, I invite you and I encourage you to check out what the other hosts are offering. And again, join me on my Facebook page. And I send you blessings for an amazing rest of the week. Covered a lot of ground today. Don't forget to take care of you. Rest, play. Oh, so important to play. Take care of your body temple and nourish yourself. Namaste, everyone. And have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. Co-create it, right? Create, envision, pray, be, bring it in, bring it in. Here we are, here we go. All love, all one. And I'm going to leave you with this.
Become a Goldylocks Productions VIP patron. Receive exclusive access to live stream special and other epic perks. Join the Goldylocks Productions VIP community today.